What's up YouTube, Extra Chronic back at it again once again with yet another amazing video. And in today's video I have something very special for you guys, and it is going up a little bit later than it should, but that should not stop you guys from watching the video. Okay, now if you have seen one of my top 10s or top 5s, I think I did a top 5 of different decks to use in Duel Links to get you started off. That was the only top or list video I've ever done. This will be a second one, and this is more, I guess, of my opinion, really. So, if you guys have anything that you agree with, make sure to leave a comment below. If you have any better ideas of what I should have added to this list, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. If you're new here, you know what to do. I will go ahead and start the video up now. Alright. Today, I want to make a list on which cards should be limited and or restricted in Duel Links. There are a lot of cards to pick from, I know that, and I narrowed it down to about 10 specific ones, at least for now, because this is not going to be the only video I make about it. So, coming in at number 10, we have a card called Deep Diver. If you do not know what this card does and why it should be limited, this card, if it gets destroyed during your end turn, you can add whatever monster you want, your choice, no matter what it is, to the top of your deck for you to draw on the next draw phase. Now, the card doesn't sound too broken in a sense and are OP, but really when you think about it, you can really add like maybe Slifer or Raw into your hand if you want any of those, or you can summon them your next turn, or if you're running a ritual deck or something like that, you can add the ritual card to your hand. And I'm not saying it should be full on restricted or anything, it just should be limited to at least maybe two to one cards. You shouldn't be able to use 3. That's all I'm trying to get at. But with that, we will go over to number 9. Number 9 is Super Rush Headlong. If you do not know what this card does, you can pick an attribute, equip it to your monster, and whatever attribute it fights that you picked will instantly get destroyed no matter what card it is, unless it had some kind of effect to where it's not affected by effects like spell trap card effects. Apart from that, that is really all the card does, and it should not be able to be ran with 3 of them in a deck. I think you should limit it down to about 2, and that should be it. Now, coming to a different card, number 8, Floodgate Trap Hole. Now, this card can get extremely annoying, especially when your opponent has 3 of them, because as soon as you summon a monster, he can put in a face-down defense, and you cannot do anything with that monster apart from tribute it. Makes me waste a lot of my cards, especially when I tribute my boss monsters like Red Eyes, or maybe, let's see, ritual monsters that I know can end duel. Yeah, it gets pretty annoying when you have those get flipped face down on your turn, and then you can't use the card whatsoever. So, that card should at least be limited down to 1, and I am not going above that. It should be limited to 1. You should not be able to run even 2 of these cards in your deck. Number 7 will be controversial, but I could care less because I used the card, I've seen how OP it is, and it needs to be restricted and or limited. Kaibaman. Coming in number 7, we have Kaibaman. What's wrong with Kaibaman? His effect. You can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Look, I run a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, and I use 3 Kaibaman, and I don't even really think, it should be able to be used like that. It needs to be limited, maybe down to at least 2, but not 3. I've had it, not only me, but I've fought against people using decks like this. On their first turn, they summon 2 Blue Eyes that can literally attack if they are on their second turn, It really gets annoying, and it gets overwhelming. You really can't do anything with it from there, unless you have maybe Wall Disruption down. But if you break your hand, you lose. You lose to this guy. Why? Because he used a broken effect to special summon a Blue Eyes that can attack the same turn he summoned it. That is broken. It needs to be limited down to 2. I won't limit it down to 1 because I know people use it for OTK decks, so 2 and that'll be it. Number 6, if you ever played against Weevil in a ranked duel, no matter what it is, maybe a casual duel, if you ever played against a Weevil, you have met this type of person, Lava Golem. Lava Golem is probably one of the most annoying cards in the game so far, in my opinion. Why? Because as soon as it's summoned to your field, if you have no monsters, you can tribute, and or you can't tribute summon it, or get this card off your field. You're taking 1,000 damage per turn, I don't run more than 2 in my deck. I don't want to, overwhelm my enemy, but I still want to win. So I'll say limit it down to maybe 1. I'm fully okay with this being limited down to 1 because, oh my gosh, this card, the effect from it, it does a lot of damage. Like, if you add up, that's only 4 turns if you haven't taken damage this entire duel. In 4 turns, if you cannot summon or tribute this monster, you lose. That's 4,000 worth of damage. Then if he's running a burn deck, which is just, effect damage, that is a straight up loss. You've lost. I've done it. I still do it, but I still do hate doing it. I mean, yeah, recreational. This is how you ruin people's day. Alright, coming in number 5, it's one of Rex Raptor's cards, and that is Fossil Excavation. Now, I highly doubt a lot of you have ran into people who use Fossil Excavation as like a main search for their deck and or a main asset to their deck, but if you run, let's say, 3 of these and you have some really high level monsters in your hand, all you have to do is have a dinosaur type in your graveyard already. Whatever high level monster you want, send that to the graveyard with Fossil Excavation and special summon the same monster. That's really all there is to it. Let's say you have Black Tyranno in your hand and you have, let's see, a random dinosaur type in your graveyard, Elemental Saurus. You use Fossil Excavation on your opponent's turn and send Black Tyranno to the graveyard. It gives you a choice to pick between Black Tyranno and Elemental Saurus. You pick Black Tyranno and summon him to the field. That's really it. It's just a way to special summon as many tribute monsters as you want, as long as you have Fossil Excavation on the field. Yeah, it's very easy to counter, but still, it gets annoying, I'm not gonna lie, especially when you can't prepare for it. But yeah, that's why this comes in at number 5. Now getting into the top 4, these are some newer cards, some older cards. Snipe Hunter. Let's talk about that card for a moment. I use the card, I only have 1 of it. I would really hate to go against someone who has 3 of it. Why? Its effect. Infinite times. This is an infinite effect as long as you have cards in your hand. So you can activate this effect any turn, any of your turns to be exact, during your main phase as many times as you want. Basically, you roll a dice. If it hits 1 and or 6, your monster does not get destroyed. If it hits anywhere between 1 to 6, as in 2 to 5, destroy whatever monster and or card you want to. That breaks the game in a very easy to understand idea, okay? If you have 3 of these, you have 3 chances to have infinite rolls as long as you have cards in your hand, and or however many cards you have in your deck rolls to destroy opponent monsters, cards, etc. Then, if you get lucky enough to not roll a 1 or 6, that's a card per destroyed monster, That's it. It really can wipe an enemy field if you have enough cards in your hand. Then if you run spells like Infinite Cards, which, if you don't know what that does, or Infinite Hand, you have an unlimited amount of cards that you can have in your hand, so you have like maybe 14 rolls if you want to, if you save up that long. But yeah, that needs to really be limited down to 1. Fully 1. Now, coming in at number 3, we have Doomdog Arcthros. I cannot pronounce the name right. Do not, judge me on my pronunciation of it. I kind of butchered it, I know. But if you do not know what this card does, literally, if it gets destroyed, and it's only if it's paired with another monster that this really works out. If this card gets destroyed, and your opponent already has 3 fiend types in his graveyard, you can add Dark Necrofear to your hand, and or any level 8 fiend type, but right now Dark Necrofear is really what to run with Doomdog. And that is a special summon right there of probably one of the most annoying boss monsters in this game to date. Yeah, it is not fun having that happen. I've had it happen to me multiple times. I only have 1 Doomdog. If I could put 3 in my deck, that would be nice. But yeah, I'm not going to overpower myself like that. So this card definitely should be limited down to 1. And I mean, it really should be limited down to 1. You should not be able to run 3 of these in a deck because 1, Necrofear is annoying enough. Having multiple on the enemy field that you cannot destroy unless you want your monster to get controlled, that's an entirely different story. You know, it's a really annoying card. You gotta understand that. If you've had the luck to not have fought this kind of deck, kudos to you. You dodged a bullet. You dodged a real bullet there. But coming in number 2, this is a card I feel like we can all agree on that should be limited down to 1, apart from those hardcore veteran players who like OTKing those noobs at the game. Ryouko. This card right here, is probably one of the most used ultra rare spells in this game since this game sort of came out, okay? When this card got released, you cannot imagine how annoying it was to have to run into someone who used this card. If you do not know what this card does, this card is probably one of the worst cards in this, you know, top 10 for spells. And possibly the only spell. Okay, this card. What this card does is that it halves the attack of a monster of your choosing and adds that half attack to a monster you're choosing. So if they have a Blue Eyes, you can drop the Blue Eyes to 1500 and add your monster with an extra 1500. Running 3 of these in the deck it's annoying, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that you can really turn around a duel like that multiple times if you have multiple of these in a deck is annoying. This one should be limited down to 1. I don't want anyone running more than 1 of these in a deck. This is purely annoying. Even I used the card and I only run 1. Why? Because I know how annoying it can be for an enemy. That's how you get someone to surrender a duel. But at number 1, there is a even worse card, okay? You guys probably can guess the card by now, since I put Ryouko as my second. But number 1 is no other than the card that can outstand Mirror Wall itself, Wall of Disruption. This card right here can get its own video. Okay, I can make an entire video talking about Wall of Disruption and why it's overpowered. But I decided to put this in a list, you know, the top 10 list. And it will sit at number 1 no matter what card you guys can think of. I'm not gonna lie, I really do not like this card. I may have it, but I may not have a lot of copies of it, and I'm really glad I don't, because if I did, I'd still convert them real quick. Okay, Wall of Disruption. What bugs me about this card is how overpowered it can be, especially if you run multiple in a deck. Let's say you have 3 Blue Eyes on your field, and you are about to OTK the enemy team. They have nothing, okay? They have nothing on their field but 1 face down. That's it. You think, oh yeah, you know, either way, you're gonna lose. Maybe it's Mirror Wall, maybe you half my attack. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's still enough damage to one-shot you, right? That's still enough damage to win the duel. When you go to attack, next thing you know, all you see is I activated my trap card, a random trap that you never heard of pop up called Wall of Destruction, and next thing you know, you're sitting at 600 attack for all 3 of your Blue Eyes. Not for a turn, for the rest of the duel. As long as these cards are on the field, they have 600 attack. That's all. That's 2,400 attack that has been deducted from your monster because of Wall of Disruption. Now, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. If you run more than 1 of these, you will force your opponent to either surrender or just stand there and take that loss. Look, I'm all for, you know, making my opponent have the most difficult time in Duel Links. I am for it. I still do it. This card is on a whole new level of broken, okay? This card needs to be restricted to 1. No less, no more. Or you know what? They could just take the entire card out of the game, all like, be it all, you know? This should be a restricted card. This is number 1, and this is the first card I actually say should be restricted. It should be a forbidden card. You shouldn't be able to use it in ranked whatsoever. Casual duels, go ahead. Friend duels, go ahead. Ranked, Kaiba Cup, any other event that consists of PvP, this card should be restricted. You should not be able to use this card. It's broken. It's that broken. Like, this is on the level of, like, God cards for a trap card. It really does give an emphasis to, I don't even know what it gives an emphasis to. I really can't think of anything. All I know is that this card is completely broken and it should be restricted. Now, after my little rant for that card, I'll go ahead and end the video. It's been chronic. I mean, I gave you guys some real good ideas of cards that should be limited. Hopefully, maybe Duel Links come across this video and see where they could, you know, improve. highly doubt a lot of you guys will agree with me. Honestly, I could care less. If you guys do agree with me, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you do agree with me, and or if you don't, make sure to leave in the comment section below your thoughts, maybe some cards that could have been added, cards you don't like being on the list, cards you do like being on the list, cards you think would be better suited for this list. And I will let it be to the comment section below. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure not to judge me by this one video. Go ahead and check out some other content, because I do a wide variety of content on this channel. Not only top 10s and not only goofing around and horrible commentating, but I do a lot of different stuff, so you guys could really go check it out and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're new. If you're a current viewer, thank you so much. No matter if you're watching this during the day, night, whatever time, lunch, brunch, dinner, it doesn't matter. I will talk to you guys next time with a new video tomorrow.